Day I'm hustling, 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 hustling,
It's
hustling,
your boy
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, hustling, hustling. Every
Welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news and analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys are spamming the like button so other people can spam that like button. Let's get into it, y'all. He says, long time no see, my geezer. Well, you haven't seen me because you don't want to see me, because I've been live every single day. Been uploading 4 to 5 videos every single day for the last forever. What's up, y'all? Finally broke 104. Looking very good. The markets are looking very good. It seems like we are starting our phase E for Bitcoin. Ethereum is finally waking up, and my theory that Ethereum is just a beat or two behind Bitcoin seems to be true. Echoing. Am I echoing for everyone? We sure? Sound fine to me? No? Okay. Good. Ski, could you please show us how to redo fibs on update market dumb since November 2024? On what? Give me like a coin that you want me to do that on. Like on Bitcoin? We starting the alt season. It looks like it, so. Starting a gap. Could be, right? It could be, right? So 5 hour on Ethereum is definitely red hot. We are at 93 on the RSI. I've closed out. So I rode most of my Ethereum trade. Where did my phone go? I don't know. I was up 150% plus on that trade. I've closed a decent bit of that trade. And my plan with Ethereum is to... I'm still have it open, most of it, for the bigger move to 3,300. But I've closed a little bit to remove some of my margin, to remove some of my risk. And my plan with Ethereum is that if we get a back test at 2,300, 2,200, I'm going to re-add to that position. Good now. Ultimately, let's start off with Bitcoin. We've talked about this ad nauseum until I was blue in the face. This was accumulation. Textbook Wyckoff accumulation. We have gotten that. This is the sign of strength. You chop at your sign of strength over here. And now we're starting phase E for Bitcoin. We got a little bit to get through, but the markets are definitely waking up, right? Everyone is starting to feel it. There's no one is, it's either all in on being a bear or all in on being a bull. No one is in between. Short-term ICP. ICP looks really good. Short-term. Do so, please. Thank you. All right, we got our phone. I'll put this on here. All right. That's okay. We'll do that. When Bitcoin going to do anything? Ski never misses. Yo. Okay. So this is the start of phase E, in my opinion. Are we going to go there in a straight line? No, we're not. But one thing I've been talking about like crazy is Bitcoin is boring until it's not. Cryptocurrency is boring until it's not. And when it flips, everyone thinks that it's going to flip. It's going to be a slow thing. It's going to be a slow grind. And that's just not real. Okay, that is not real. That's not how it moves. And what we see from Bitcoin is when it's in a downtrend, it gruels out of the downtrend and then it breaks violently. We see this time and time again. Here is from March of 24 through October of 24. You have lower highs and lower lows. You're in a downtrend. You start to gruel out of the downtrend, making higher lows and higher highs, and then it breaks so violently. This is what it does literally every time. mark down, you're in a downtrend, you gruel out of the downtrend, higher lows, higher highs, and then it breaks violently out of the downtrend. Okay, so everyone's always like, we'll get it here, we'll get it there. It's like, okay, like I made my position in April. Okay, I don't have, all my trades are 3X's. I'm not doing crazy leverage, y'all. Same thing over here. We're in a downtrend. When you break it, it does so violently. That's what it does. So the end of the phase for Bitcoin, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's going there tomorrow, but it appears like it started the phase E. We got to get above. And I would say, too, when we look on the daily, all things equal, this is pretty much an all-time high when you look at the daily candle. Right, the strength of a candle. See where the candle is? It's at 104.68. Whereas when we look over here, we're basically at an all-time high. The highest candle that we ever got was 106.4. And then, of course, we had some wicks to 109. But we didn't get the full candle there. But this is the strongest candle that Bitcoin's ever had at this range. And, we got to get above that. But ultimately, that's where I think it's going to go. And the even better part of this story, though, is while Bitcoin is rising, Bitcoin dominance is falling quickly. And this, of course, is because of Ethereum. In my opinion, is just catching up to Bitcoin. It's still way behind. Like Ethereum in the macro and the micro is only at the 236. That's it. For comparison, Bitcoin is almost at a double top right now, right? But I've been talking about this for weeks, guys. Like, who has been here with me every single week, every single day? When I've been talking about this, I said I think Ethereum is behind Bitcoin a beat or two. But here you go. And we'll make it on the 5 hour, so it's a little bit clearer. On the top is Ethereum. On the bottom is Bitcoin. In my opinion, Ethereum is just a beat or two behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to lead us off because it always leads us off. Because you don't know if it's day or night unless you go outside and you see the sun out there. When the sun rises, you feel the heat. The sun is rising, the heat is rising, okay? And so what we had from Bitcoin was you got into your markdown, you were in a downtrend, you get into accumulation, you break the downtrend and you waddle sideways. You break the downtrend, you waddle sideways, and then you go up higher to the sign of strength, which for Bitcoin was about the 618 to the 702, somewhere in there. For Ethereum, the same structural move. In my opinion, Ethereum is only right here. This is where Ethereum is, right here. It is broken from this waddle here. It's only at the 236, okay, for perspective. For structurally, it's a catch up to Bitcoin. It's going to be at about 3,000 minimum, 3,300, 3,500. Somewhere in that zone would be this same structural move right in here that Bitcoin has already done. It chopping in here. This right here is what's this end of this move right here. That is the same move, okay? And now Bitcoin is already starting to mark E, which is almost to, we're basically at a double top right now. But what I think it's going to be, I think it's going to break higher to the $118,000 range. But Ethereum has some catching up to do, and there's still a lot of value in the Ethereum ecosystem, especially, right? And I'm only looking for longs. And we are certainly going to get pullbacks. Listen, hear me. We are certainly going to get pullbacks. Hear me. We are certainly going to get pullbacks. Look at Ethereum right now on the 5 hour RSI. It is at 93. This is red hot. Okay. So Ethereum pulling back to 2,300. Not going to be weird at all. In fact, I hope it does, because I'm going to add to my longs. I'm already in a long on Ethereum right now. Right meow. Not now, but right meow. Okay. I'm in a long on Ethereum. I've already de-risked from this position. You guys think I'm playing? I put my money where my mouth is. Y'all think I'm playing? I put my money where my mouth is. Okay? I'm not just out here talking. I'm not just out here speaking Japanese. Okay? Here you go. Here's my update on Ethereum. 125.89%. On 3x leverage, my brethren. On 3x leverage, my brethren. On 3x. This is not 30x. This is not 300x. This is 3x leverage. Why? Because we spotted this a month ago. We spotted this entire structure a month ago. A month ago. All right. Ultimately, though, Ethereum, in my opinion, is catching up to Bitcoin. We might have some chop on the way up. It's just opportunity, though. ICP. All right, let's look at ICP. If you say we're starting alt season right now, what about Q4? Do you think we see another alt season? What do you believe Bitcoin pulls back to after 118? It depends on the manner. Jo, it depends on the manner of how we get there. Hi, Ski Cardano, please. Last month was a good time to buy, but there's still opportunity in there. 10 out of 10 starting a gap short on ICP, short term on ICP. Ski, Flux, please. Flux, I'm in a long on Flux right now, actively, today. You guys want a freebie? I put that out on Twitter. I put out all my trades on the Telegram, but I put that one out on Twitter for free. I'm in a long on Flux today. Can we get longer TA on ETH? Like, are we going back to the 786 4K? I honor the 702 more than the 786, to be honest. Because if you get above the 702, 9 times out of 10, you just go to a double top or you go parabolic. To me, the 786 almost means nothing. But that is the move that I think that Ethereum is working on, getting to the 618 or the 702, which is what Bitcoin did, getting to about 95K. Because you have to remember, Bitcoin was at 70K, 74K, and then it violently went up to 95K very quickly. This is what I'm predicting that Ethereum is in the midst of working on right now. This took Bitcoin about a month to pan out, and I expect about the same for Ethereum. How's this BS with India and Pakistan going to affect crypto? All right, 2 things with that. Excuse me. 2 things. 1, it's already a ceasefire. It's already a ceasefire. 2, Bill, war is evil. War is terrible. There are no winners in war, right? I've been to war. I've been there, done that, bought a t-shirt. I'm not interested. I'm the most anti-war person you will find. And war is good for economy. War is good for stocks and crypto, period. Okay? I wish that were not true. I wish that people were not profiting off of evil. But I don't live in a fantasy world. All right? I don't live in a fantasy world. All right, let's look at how's Solnic doing. Solnic is my number 1 100x play, period. What are some solid alts that can find the 10x? My top value plays, if you want to like blue chips, ADA, Link, Vchain, I think are all poised to 5+x. All right, let's look at ICP as another one. Let's look at ICP because I forgot. I got distracted. I don't think Ondo is going to 5x. No. Yeah, man, ICP looks really good. This is, okay, so this is super micro because I'm on the 5 hour and I'm very zoomed in. On the macro. All right, let's start macro and then let's go micro on ICP. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I FOMO'd a little bit into a trade on ICP today. It's up right now, but I have every intention of, like, if we get a back test, I'm going to add to it. Just because ICP has been so beaten down for a good while now. Macro, this is accumulation, though. Macro accumulation, your markdown accumulation, sign of strength, back test of the prior range, okay? And then in the micro, too, And of course, I'm talking about Wyckoff accumulation, right? Markdown, accumulation, sign of strength, backtest. That's what we're talking about with ICP. That's what it's doing in the macro. In the micro, though, when you zoom in, it's the same thing. You have accumulation within accumulation, and you've broken out of this. So you have your markdown. I would classify this as your selling climax. I would say that this is your secondary test in phase B, which goes lower than your selling climax. And then this would be your spring, which goes even lower than the secondary test in phase B. All right. And of course, I'm talking about Wyckoff accumulation. Markdown, selling climax, secondary test goes lower than the selling climax. Spring goes lower than the secondary test in phase B. That's textbook. Textbook. Okay. This is already broken here. This appears to be working on the sign of strength in the micro. The micro sign of strength would be about $6.75. That is my first take profit on my trade. I'm in a long on ICP right now. That's my first take profit. Full on catching up to Bitcoin and Ethereum would be $10.96. And then you would go to the macro, and then the retracement is, you know, $38, $50, you know, but this to me might be starting something. Any dips now that it's broken this, I think look really, really good. Data hit $1 today. Let's go. India and Pakistan are people who steal crypto. Yeah. Do Cardano, bro. Cardano has one of my favorite setups. Macro and micro. I'm in a long in Cardano right now. Again, y'all think I'm BSing. I show my trades. Where are you? Now, I'm already up a lot on my Cardano trade. Again, you don't need crazy leverage to get crazy gains. You hear me? You don't need crazy leverage to get crazy gains. 3x leverage. I'm up 98%. That's a lifetime of stock market gains. All right. It is one of my favorite setups, micro and medium and long term for Cardano. Where's my Cardano? Where are you? I'm so sorry. All right, let's look at the... Where is my Cardano chart? Here you are. All right, we're at 82 cents. Again, this is accumulation. This is accumulation, okay? This is Wyckoff accumulation within Wyckoff accumulation. Also, this has the same setup. This is macro. So let's do the macro and then we'll do the micro. On the top is Cardano. On the bottom, we're going to do Bitcoin because it has the same setup. We've talked about this a lot. Some people follow me, and I'm sure they get sick of me like, my God, Ski, again with this? Again? The truth don't change, my brethren, no matter how many times I say it. The truth don't change, no matter how many times I say it, no matter who it's coming from, the truth is the truth. Okay? On the top is Cardano. On the bottom is Bitcoin from 2013 through 2017. On the top is 2021 through present day. And what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me, is we have our sign of strength. Can you say sign of strength? What is a sign of strength, Ski? The sign of strength marks firmly that the bottom is in. Wyckoff accumulation firmly that the bottom is in. And then you have the back test of the prior range. Okay, on the top, sign of strength, back test of the prior range. Then you have Bitcoin, 2013, sign of strength, back test of the prior range. Reaccumulate, move higher than the sign of strength. Move higher than the sign of strength. Okay, back test again. Back test again. Cha-cha real smooth now. Cha-cha again. Cha-cha one time this time. One hop this time. Slide to the left. Okay. Back test again. Reaccumulate. Back test again. Reaccumulate. And then you start grueling your way higher. In my opinion, ADA has started its grueling its way higher, and it's already out of this range. If we zoom in on Bitcoin back in 2016, I would say we're here. We've already had the violent back test, and we already broke out of the back test right in here. If we can see it, y'all see that? That's where we're at, in my opinion. That's the same. We might get a back test if we're lucky again in the very, very micro. It's not going to make a new low. It might come back to 72 cents. Maybe if you're lucky, if you're blessed. And then this is the end of the story. And by the way, most of the altcoins look like this chart. Say it with me. They all look the same. Somebody say in the comments, they all look the same. Why do they all look the same? Because they're going to do the same thing at the same damn time. At the same damn. They're going to do the same thing. Everything, everywhere, all at once. They're going to do the same. Okay? Here's the end of the story. They all look the same. That's right. Here's the end of the story. That's your markup. The markup for ADA. Here's my exit targets for ADA. $2. That's your retracement. Always de-risk at the retracement. Always de-risk at the retracement. Say it with me. Always de-risk at the retracement. Why? You don't want to round trip everything. Not everything's going parabolic. $2, $4, $6, $8. That's my exit targets for ADA. Irish Dano, thank you for the let 'em cook. Justin, thanks for the goat. Big D, thanks for the goats. Justin, thanks for the goats. The goats. The goats. Elk, thanks for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw!
But the cream rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Nice guy. Thank you for the I'm so hungry and the goat. And the nice to meet you, the chili, the heart, the rose, the lightning, the corn, you savages.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
What do you think Vchain's going to pump to? Vchain has the same chart as ADA. Literally the same chart. Literally the same chart. When I say everything, everywhere, all at once, because they all look the same. Put it in the chat. They look the same. Where is Vchain? Where is Vchain? Where are you? Here you are. They look the same. Do you need to be a nerd like me to think that this looks the same? Nope. This is the same chart. What's the meme with Pam from The Office? Corporate wants you to see the same. Tell us the difference. It's the same. Why is it the same? Because they're going to do the same move. They're going to do the same thing. What are my targets for Vchain? 20 cents, 40 cents, 60 cents. What's the draw for Solnic? Why do you see it doing so well? Solnic is my number one 100x play. It's all about the BYOB movement. Be your own bank. Okay, staking is almost done. And let me tell you a little bit about why that is important to me. Because number one, that is the entire point of cryptocurrency. Everyone wants make chart go up technology. But really, when you get down to the brass tacks, the point of crypto is to be your own bank. Okay? The 2008 financial crisis is why Bitcoin was created. Because of the distrust in the banking system. Because, guess what? They screwed over regular people. Did anyone go to jail? Did anyone pay a fee? No, they got raises. And the taxpayers bailed them out. Okay? We're shooting a documentary called BYOB, Be Your Own Bank. And what we were exploring in this documentary is a lot of people know about the 2008 financial crisis. Less people know that that's why Bitcoin was created. And even less people know where is the remains of these small Midwestern hometowns that the big banks and big pharma predatorily preyed upon? And that's what I explored in the documentary. It's like, this is where big banks left us. It's still wrecked to this day. 15 years later, wrecked to this day. The economy has not recovered in these small towns to this day. Why? Because big banks left us here. This is where big pharma left us. BYOB, be your own bank. So what does that mean? That means you have all regular people giving power back to regular people, that they will be able to access the same tools as Wells Fargo, as PayPal. How does Wells Fargo, how does PayPal make money? They make money by borrowing and lending, liquidity mining, yield farming, all these things. But instead of needing tens of millions of dollars of capital and Big Brother saying, yes, little Jimmy, I approve of this message. No, little Jimmy, you can't do that. Somebody in the chat say, little Jimmy, please. So the tools we're creating are going to be these same tools. But instead of needing tens of millions of dollars of capital and being an accredited investor who went to Brown and went to Harvard, a regular Joe is going to be able to access these tools, such as staking, such as lending, such as borrowing, putting your money to work. But instead of needing tens of millions of dollars worth of capital, you're going to need $10 worth of capital, bringing power back to regular people. Little Jimmy, please. So that is why Solnic is my number one 100x play. It's all about DeFi and being your own bank. It's an FU to the man. Don't start wheezing. I will. Don't tell me what to do. Tiny Diny. Thank you for the Tiny Diny, and Gavzat, thanks for the roses. You savages.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
That will make hedge fund managers cringe. Ski good. I don't care about some guy's father who went to Brown, who is a crazy gambling addict who wears a suit. I don't care about them at all. Who cannot beat the S&P 500. I don't care about them at all. They will be just fine. They charge you 2, 3, 5% to get worse performances than the S&P 500. I don't care about them at all. What's the 100x play? Solnic, SOLNIC, is holding ETH and Sol enough? Enough for what? Watching Flux today makes me want to cry, especially when I got in that 19-cent dip. It was scary. It's always scary. It never feels good to buy the bottom. Never, not one time is it ever going to feel good to buy the bottom. Never. Trump's new coin. I don't care about Trump's new coin. He needs to get the first one going. I would argue that Trump delayed the alt season. Hot take. It worked itself out, and we're A-okay, and we're just fine now. And maybe, in fact, the cryptocurrency market's in a healthier place now today because it had a pretty big pullback prematurely. And perhaps we can go even higher and even longer than what we would have. But make no mistake about that. The first launch and the second launch of Melanie's coin delayed alt season, sucked $75 billion from Solana by 4, 5, 6 months. Now, it's okay now. It worked itself out. But we got to call a spade a spade. Kronos. I like Kronos a lot. Should I buy ETH right now? I never recommend buying, like Ethereum's up 100%. The time to buy Ethereum was a week ago, a month ago. Ethereum's up 87%. For perspective, this is 12 years of stock market gains. XRP or Bitcoin? XRP and Bitcoin. I own Bitcoin and XRP. Thoughts on Gala? Too much inflation for me. Is this a commercial for those pills at the gas station? Higher, longer, harder? Exactly. Last longer, go higher, and go harder. How can I change my notification settings to only get notified when you send out messages and not everyone else? Are you talking about in the Telegram? Ski is crazy. In a good way. ICP waking up. Yes, it is. Leroy Jenkins. Do you think Peanut can make a new all-time high? XRP has broken this downtrend that it's been, and it's broken free of this fractal, in my opinion. I said a few days ago the line in the sand was $2.40. We got that. So what's next for XRP? In my opinion, this is accumulation. This is the sign of strength. $5, $8, $12 is where I'm going to be exiting my XRP. My average price is 12 cents or 20 cents, 20 to 30 cents. I've already de-risked 40% of my XRP holdings at $3.33. You might be in a different boat than me, but that is the boat that I am sailing in on with XRP. My comments get removed. Oh, well. I will just listen to everyone. Good luck, everyone. Top coin list, please, Ski. Total market cap Q4. Arrow. Should I take profits on Link? You think we go to 118K, then retrace to 105, then go back to 140? That's a plausible move. Listen, I think the next move for Bitcoin is 118, and everyone wants me to outline perfectly what we do after that. And the truth of the matter is, here's the truth. Not only is the target important, but how we arrived in that manner is important. Did you arrive at the party with a stolen car and the cops were chasing you? Or did you get an Uber? Like, how did we arrive at this party? How hot is it? Okay, do we just go in a straight line to 118? That's going to be a different thing than if we have a couple back tests and we kind of gruel our way up. That's the truth. Andrea, thank you for the money gun, you savage.
But the cream.
Thanks for the tiny diny.
Top, oh yeah.
Link to with a stolen police car with an Uber driver. What do you think Trump's big announcement's going to be? All right, here you go. Here it is. You ready? I'm President Donald J. Trump, and I would like to announce I'm the greatest president, especially for the African American community. I've done more than any president ever. Even Abraham Lincoln. Even Abraham Lincoln, some would say. Sleepy Joe, he wanted your Bitcoin. I said, no, you're not going to have it. There you go. That's what's going to happen. That's the big announcement. That's the big announcement. I don't know. I don't know. Nor am I going to try to trade based off of what it's going to be. I'm going to look at the charts. I'm going to do my fundamental analysis, my technical analysis, and I'm going to leave it at that. Like words at all? LCX input. I like LCX. Let's look. I haven't looked at the chart at LCX in a little while. When 10K ETH. Let's get to 3,300 first. Okay, LCX has broken this downtrend. It's now in an uptrend. And what have we seen from crypto? What I learned in boating school is blankety. What do we know? When crypto breaks a downtrend, it does it slowly and then it does it suddenly. When crypto, let me say it again because I don't think you heard me. When crypto breaks a downtrend, it does it slowly, then suddenly. This has broken a downtrend and it is in an uptrend now, micro. Okay, if we were to pull a Fibonacci and LCX were to catch up to Ethereum and Bitcoin, that would be about 28 cents. The next leg, in my opinion, parabolic ranges is $1.11, $2.22. Aave, I'm in. Listen, my feelings on Aave. Here's my feelings on Aave. Are you ready? If you guys give me opportunities to brag, I will. What are my thoughts on Aave, Ski? Here we go. Here's my thoughts on Aave. I'm in a long right now. Not now, but right now. 3x long. I'm up 219%. I have completely de-risked, and I will be swinging for the fences for the bigger macro move. That's my thoughts on Aave. We should pay for this show. He's going to announce that Ski's beard is safe. Trump's going to come out. A lot of great analysts in this market, none better than Ski. He bet his beard. He said we're going to $118,000 before 70. Everyone said, Ski, you're going to shave the razor. Not me, though. His beard is safe. Sonic worth it. Are you talking about Sonic or Solnic? Do you think the XRP down? What are you asking me, brother? Solnic. Solnic is my number one 100x play. Listen, okay, here's all the bets that I've made in my entire content creating career, okay? I'm going to tell you all the bets that I've made. I don't remember when I made the last bet on Bitcoin. I'm not going to pretend like I do. Let's say it was 85K. I don't remember, to be honest. Let's call it 85K. Someone can fact check me. I don't remember. I don't remember. But the last bet I made was Bitcoin would reach $118,000 before it reaches $70,000, as in I think they will both probably happen, or I will shave my beard. This was the most recent bet that I made. When Bitcoin was at, video evidence documented, August 5th, 2024, Bitcoin was at $49,000. I said that the bottom was in. I would shave my beard if we went lower. Not only that, I said we will also reach $80,000 by Christmas. The real number's 100K, or I will shave my beard. We went to 100K before Christmas. Okay? The war in Israel happened. Bitcoin pulls back from 31,000 to 25,000. I said I would shave my beard if we went lower. The bottom is in. Silicon Valley Bank goes to zero. Bitcoin pulls back from 25K to 20K. I said the bottom's in. I will shave my beard if we go lower. FTX collapses Bitcoin November 8th, 2022. I said the bottom's in. I will shave my head if we go lower. I have the same bet with Solnic. Solnic will reach 7.5 cents or I will shave my beard. That is how confident I am in Solnic. Your banner on YouTube has you with a shaved beard. What happened there? What happened is I lost a bet and I joined the army. And you can't have a beard. No, I had a shave face. I had a mustache for a long time. What's the market cap? The market cap on Solnic today, what is the market cap? I think it's 5.3 million. What's the market cap? 5.38 million. What does Wyckoff call Phasey? Is it different? What top does Wyckoff call for Phasey? Is it different every time? Any specific Fibonacci? Generally, you see between the 1618 and the 3618, depending on the you need to study how does it behave to certain levels. This is why I don't like doing analysis on coins that have less than a year of data, right? Because I can't project it because it doesn't have any data to say what it does at certain levels. But generally, I consider 2618 parabolic, 3618 is max parabolic. Okay? But it doesn't really have a target based off Fibonacci, but what you start looking for after phase E. So what he's talking about. Okay, let me like bring this full circle so everyone can understand what are we talking about here. Because this is a 4D level question. And I'm going to try to bring it to where everyone can understand what we're talking about. So he's asking me about phase E. Okay, phase E is what we call the bull run. In Wyckoff, you call it the markup. It's the same thing. So after you get accumulation, which is this structure, what I'm showing right here, which is why April 7th, 2025, video evidence, I said the bottom's in, boys. Here is why. Because it was our spring. 74.4, video evidence, documented. It was our spring, okay? So you have, I'm going to show you the oversimplification of what you get. This is what happens on a loop forever. For 100 years, this is what happens over and over and over again. The market is constantly trying to find balance. It always goes out of balance. It goes into overbought and oversold. Overbought and oversold. And what you find is these middle ranges are violent, but you don't spend a lot of time there. You spend a lot of time at accumulation. You spend a lot of time of distribution. Okay? And so this is what happens over and over and over again. You go into accumulation, markup, which is what we call the bull run. That's phase E. Distribution, markdown, and then you start the whole process over and over again. And it just does it on a loop forever. Yin yang. It's all about balance. Okay? So the question was, like, where does phase E take you? This is phase E. That's what he's talking about. The mark up. Okay? And that's the answer. It takes you into distribution. It takes you straight into, so this is a reaccumulation. It takes you straight into distribution. And then again, okay, let me clean this chart up. Let's get rid of everything so we can just see it. Okay, so this is what I call Wyckoff reaccumulation. You have your selling climax, your spring, and then you start making your higher lows. This was your phase E in the micro. And then what does phase E take you into? It takes you into distribution. Okay? You have a big violent move up. You go into distribution. You go into a big violent markdown. You come back into reaccumulation. That's what it does over and over and over again. Same thing. This is distribution, markdown, reaccumulation, markup. That's a macro. Same thing. This is accumulation, markup, distribution, markdown, reaccumulation, markup. One leads right into another forever. Which is why I like Wyckoff so much, because it gives you a roadmap of where we have been and where we are going. What time frames are you using? It depends, but the time frames that I like to use the most are the 5 hour, the daily, the 3 day, the 5 day, the weekly. That's where I spend the most amount of time. I rarely go under 3 hours. Rarely do I ever. I'm not one to look on the 1 minute chart, the 3 minute chart, the 5 minute chart, the 15 minute chart, literally ever. Rarely I'll look at the hourly, but generally the lowest I go down to is about the 3 or the 5 hour. Any chance of a dump next week? Yeah, definitely. Says you've been calling it since April. What is the market cap if Sonic hits 7 cents? You have it at 007. I think you mean 7 cents. Is that correct, Foxy? I think you're asking what is the market cap if it hits 7 cents. Or are you asking me 7/10 of a penny? Which are you asking me? Okay, the market cap of 7 cents is about $75 million market cap. $75 million market cap. Which is still, by the way, a micro cap. Sorry, just got on. What chart program are you using? I use TradingView. TradingView is free. You can get a paid version of TradingView, but I don't think you need it. I have a paid version of TradingView. However, it's for presentation purposes, for making content, for making videos, for explaining it to you guys. But in reality, I don't need to explain it to myself to see it. So I think you can, if you are starting out to charting, use the free version, max that out before moving forward. What does microcap mean? It means a very, very small coin. Best A+ setup for you. Right here. We just had it. I am an assassin at calling out springs. If you've been following me for any amount of times, springs to me, if we get a spring, I am an assassin at calling out springs. That is what I specialize in. I really like, I'll show you the two moves that I'm really good at catching in Wyckoff. I am really good at catching the spring, which is the lowest point that you go, because I know what it feels like. Number one, I know what it looks like, but more importantly, I know what it feels like. And I think navigating your emotions is a very, very important thing to do. And listen, I have news. Guess what? Springs are always scary. Every time a spring is as scary as it gets, it will never feel worse to buy. It will never feel worse to long. There will never be a spring that your friends are like, wow, you're smart for going long here. Nope. It will never be that way. Everyone will say you're an idiot. Everyone will say we're going lower. That's what a spring is. Every time. It's always scary. It's always off the back of some terrible news. That's what a spring is. So that, to me, the spring is money. And the setup for the spring is a settling climax, a secondary test that goes lower, and then I want to look for divergences on the RSI, There's other things that kind of lead you to believe like, oh, this is it. But the emotional, psychological game of it all. Where is everyone else with it? What is the news that's coming out? It's always terrible. It's always like recession, war, impeachment, ban, doom, depegging. It's never good. Never, 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 never. If you're waiting for it to feel like the right time, when it feels like the right time to buy is actually distribution. That's when it will feel good. It'll feel good to buy when we're at all-time highs, when we're working on distribution, when you get the most bullish news that you ever heard of. Oh my God, Elon Musk is going on SNL? The United States is buying Bitcoin? That's when it's going to feel good to buy Bitcoin. That's when it's going to feel good to buy crypto at the top. It will never feel good at the bottom. So that's my number one A+ setup. And then number two is trading that to the sign of strength, which I just did. And then catching the back test again. I love longing at a back test. I love longing at a spring. Those are my A+ setups. Me, myself, and I, thank you for the $9.99 donation, you savage.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Ski, I'm looking at this coin, JOS. It's an AI. Can you tell me real quick what you think of the chart? It's on Solana. Okay. Can we already be at the end of phase E starting distribution? I don't think so. You would see chopping. We are not seeing chopping. Also, we would start to see bearish divergences. Now, can we get a back test? Certainly. Yes. Hopefully. JOS. Yeah, bro, there's not enough on this one. Sorry, man. Thank you for the donation, though. G Swinger says, I looked at Sonic. It only has 18K in volume. How do you see it? I don't think that... So there's multiple chains. It's hard to quantify what the actual volume is because it's on Solana, it's on Base, it's on AVAX. So there's 3 different ones. There's also different liquidity pools within there. But even so, what is that? 2% of the market cap? I don't think that that's a bad amount of volume. It's only $5 million market cap. Let me see. But the answer to your question is the BYOB. Be your own bank. Staking is coming out very, very soon. On-chain is coming out very, very soon. You're worried about volume. What can drive volume? I don't know. People being able to buy a cryptocurrency with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, debit card. That might help. And what else might help? What else might help? Is if people are locking up their Sonic, which they're going to be doing very, very soon. All right, what is the... All right, so the 24-hour volume, by the way, is 27.44 thousand on one liquidity pool. Again, so that's not even accurate information that you have. That's one liquidity pool. That is not every liquidity pool. There's also another one. We are on AVAX. We are on Base. And there are multiple liquidity pools within Solana as well. That is just the main one. But what is that? 2.5%. Where can I buy Sonic? You can buy it on Phantom. That's the easiest way. Buy Solana, send Solana to Phantom Wallet, and then swap it directly. Do you like all-time high? I don't think it had this run. What are you at? Do you like ATH? BC. Hide your camera. I'm trying to see something. What are you trying to see, bro? What are you trying to see? Ski, when you say 7.5 cents for Solana, what's the real number? 10 cents. I'm trying to send retail your way. You had notes before? What are you talking about? I had notes before. What's up with Bitcoin? Bitcoin is up with Bitcoin. Are you not on TikTok? I am on TikTok. I am live on TikTok right now. I'm on YouTube as well. Rose target. Let's look at Rose. Rose is finally waking up. Finally. It's been 8 long years. Oh, I missed some gifts. My bad, guys. Crypto Creepy, thank you for the rose. Cole, thanks for the heart. Auntie, thanks for the heart. Lakers, thanks for the heart and the popular. Thank you for the shell. Viral. Rob, thanks for the heart and the snap fingers. Cole, thanks for the crown. You savages.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
The notes for spring was covered up by you. What are you talking about? I don't have any notes, bro. ADA hitting $1. I think it's going to hit $1 pretty soon. I know it's up. You think Bitcoin will keep up? Bitcoin in the micro is overheated, but check it out. Here's the truth. And I've been talking about this for a month. Bitcoin, this is how Bitcoin breaks a downtrend. How does Bitcoin break a downtrend? Here's the last downtrend that Bitcoin had. I'll show you. Here is from March of 24 through October. Bitcoin was in a downtrend. You have lower lows, lower highs. And then you stop. You start making higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. It gruels out of here. And then it does so violently. That's how Bitcoin breaks a downtrend. Here's 2022. You have a downtrend, grueling, violent. Here is 2020. Grueling, violent. Everyone thinks that they'll get it tomorrow. They'll get it on the next one. A rose. Oh, my bad, bro. I got distracted. Whoopsies, I'm a Sagittarius. Listen, Rose has broken the downtrend. What does crypto like to do? It breaks a downtrend gruelingly and then violently. Okay, we got some work to do. But this has broken the downtrend. Retracement for Rose, I'm going to be very cautious at 30 to 38 cents. If it wants to go parabolic, you're looking at $1. $1.50. But I think at a minimum in the macro, it's going to retrace, which is about 30 to 35 cents. Can you look at ETH chart? What are the key areas of resistance for ETH to go over 3,300? I would be shocked if we get above it the first time. I think 3,300 is the key resistance, and that's going to be the decider. Are we going to go price discovery for Ethereum or not? I'm going to be de-risking. I'm in a long on Ethereum right now. I will be completely exiting at that target. Okay. I am in a long presently today right now. I am up. Here's my entry price, $17.88. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not just yapping. I don't just speak fluent Japanese out here. I put my money where my mouth is. A month ago when I told you that the bottom was in, I went long on almost everything. Almost everything. I will be exiting this at 3,300. I've already de-risked heavily already. I've already moved my stop losses to plus 50%. Where is Bare Naked Crypto? Can we call him? Somebody please check on him. Do you have the same time targets for Bitcoin with the way dominance is dropping? Yes. In fact, Tony, shout out to Tony in the Telegram, asked me earlier today, is it possible for Bitcoin to go into all-time highs as Bitcoin dominance is falling? And I answered the question. Not only is it possible, it is a requirement for us to have an alt season. So you need two things to happen simultaneously at the same time. That is, A, Bitcoin making all-time highs. This is the bottoming structure. We have gotten it. So that looks very, very close. And B, you need Bitcoin to break lower. On the 5-hour chart, we have broken a downtrend. We have broken multiple levels at this point. Multiple levels. And then we go on a bigger time frame. This is the next big one. 61.43. You need both of these to be happening simultaneously at the same time. So if you spot and not longing, is it smart to still DCA? Into certain projects, I would say yes. 2 NFTs get you lifetime access to the exclusive group where I put out all my trades and my holdings. Anytime I buy, sell, anytime I trade, which I trade often. I trade early, I trade often. I think I love you. I think I love you too. Bitcoin dominance is in a free fall. How's ICP looking? ICP is looking crazy good. I FOMO'd. Listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I FOMO'd into ICP on a long today. I have every intention of adding to the position if and when if we get a pullback. I'm gonna give you a free one. How about that? Here's a free one. Here's a freebie. Not financial advice. This is a risky trade. Kind of. I'm doing super low leverage. Here you go. I want to tell you my exact plan with ICP. This is the type of stuff I put out in the Telegram. Constantly, daily. All right. I have longed ICP. You can see I'm down 1.8%. 3x long. If we get to $5.40, I will be adding to that position. If we get to $5.33, I will add to it again. If we get to $5, I will add finally to the position. This is a long macro swing play, but I think we have the setup and the stipulation for ICP. I'll be exiting at $6.70. I'll be exiting at... where else? Oh. Was it $10.80? And then I'll be exiting at $34. There you go. That's a freebie. Not financial advice. Do with that information what you will. But that's what I put out in the Telegram almost every day. You might be like, oh, hindsight. It ain't hindsight. I'm down. We'll see how it goes. I want to put all my soul into Aave. Put all your soul into Solnik. That's my number one 100x play. Not financial advice. Ski, are you going to be telling us your exit plan and prices when you feel like the top on live help us or only in the Telegram? Telegram's going to get it first. Telegram's going to get a dialed in play. But if I'm generally selling, I will let you guys know. What's the targets for Link? 38, 78, 178. One more time, it cut out for me. Can you leverage on Robinhood? I'm not sure. I use BitUnix and Blowfin are the main two that I use. You don't. I know for a fact you don't need any KYC or VPN on BitUnix. So you just need an email address, and that's it. Up to a certain threshold. Now, if you're withdrawing like $100,000 in a day or something like that, I think it's $10,000 per day you can withdraw without KYC. And then I think beyond that threshold, you have to KYC. What's the easiest way to send Bitcoin from Coinbase to Phantom? All right. Here you go. Easiest way. Okay, so you're going to go to Phantom. We'll call that PH. You're going to hit receive. Okay? You're going to go to Bitcoin. You're going to click on the asset Bitcoin. Then you're going to hit receive. You're going to copy. Then you're going to go back to Coinbase. And you're going to hit send. You're going to make sure it's the Bitcoin network. And then you're going to paste the address. And then you are going to send it. That's the easiest way. I'm going to long ICP around 555. I think that's a good play, honestly. I wish I would have waited for it a bit more, to be honest. But I thought, listen, I am not going to be greedy too, because I know when Bitcoin or when crypto breaks out, it does it violently. How do you spell BitUnix? There's a link in my bio for it if you want it. If you click on my link tree, you will see it. It's one of the top apps, or it's one of the first or second links. If you click on that, you can support the channel. Obviously, I will earn a referral bonus for that, but you will also get free crypto as well. So if you want to support the channel, you can click on my link tree. I think it's the second link right now, and that's BitUnix. And that's how I leverage trade in the United States with no KYC, no VPN. Ski, what's the price Solnik's most likely going to top out at? My low case is 10 cents. My medium case is $1. My bull case is $5.89. Jay said, I made a large spot purchase on Aave when you called the bottom. Made me sick, but I'm so happy now. Thanks. You did it, not me. XLM $1 to $2. Has alt season started yet? The start of the start has started. The starty start that starts starting has started. It sounds like I'm being funny, but I'm telling the truth. If you're asking me 100x long tomorrow, that is not right. If you're asking me, are the macro stipulations in place for it to start, but has it actually started? That is correct. What's the upside holding Solnic and not selling? What's the APY in your, if you stake it? It's going to be based on demand. There's going to be set amount of Solnic, and it's going to be price. It's going to be supply and demand. The APY is going to be based off of that. But you can also yield farm it too. So you can do, like, I've made videos about this too. You can add to liquidity pools. And if people buy or sell, like, you could add up 50% of Solana, 50% Solnic, or you could do like 20, 80, whatever. There's different ways of doing it. But if people use that liquidity pool, you're going to get rewarded for what you contribute. So there's many ways of doing that. That's just one thing. You'll also, Richard, you're going to be able to loan it out too. So you're going to be able to stake it. You're going to be able to loan it. And you're going to be able to liquidity mine it. So that's 3 ways of making yield on your Solnic. Those are some of the benefits. Vchain hits 20 cents in the next 2 months, and I'll leap of joy. What is the best way? What do you mean, what is the best way? You think we see December highs on what? Ski, what's your ADA? I need an exit plan. Thank you. If you want a personalized exit plan, I do sell consultations. This comes with a portfolio review. It comes with a personalized exit strategy based off of your personal portfolio. Going over your comments, questions, concerns, your pain points, all of that. However, I'll give you a freebie for ADA. My exit plan for ADA is $2, $4, $6, $8. You think ETH will hit 10K? I think that that's plausible. I'm going to be very cautious around the retracement of 3,300 though. You playing with PayPal USD yet? I was paying my editor in that when I was using it. So I've been using PayPal USD for a while. 3 NFTs get you a portfolio review. What is the best way to make yield off Solnic out of options you mentioned? I want to make yield half Solnic. Currently, it is with Radium. But we're developing the other options right now as we speak. So you can do liquidity mining with Radium. You can add to liquidity pools. Xian or Rose, what's the targets? Xian to me has more guaranteed targets. Rose has more upside. But I like them both. Beto says, I had a portfolio review with Ski. Highly recommend it. I appreciate that. All right. That is the contract address for Solnic, my top play. My top 100x plus play. Also, whoever was asking me, like, I don't see it, like, look at the chart, man. The chart has outlasted everything. It's a game of attrition as much of anything. All right, let's check out ATH for my man. He's been asking. Let me see if what we can find about it. Not a ton of data on this. Let me see if I can find another one. I don't mind. This looks like accumulation, though, but there's not a lot of data on this, to be honest. Only way to get it consultation is NFT. That's not the only way, no. Yeah, this looks like distribution. This looks like markdown accumulation. This looks like your spring, the same time as everything else. And in fact, it was. Retracement is 6 cents. Parabolic is 20 cents. Vchain chart. Vchain is one of my favorite blue chips right now. 20 cents is my minimum target. Macro. Flux or Theta? I like Flux more. I'm a little bit biased. I like them both, though. Added another 5,000 Theta. Looking good. Yeah, Theta's looking really good. Is it too late to buy XLM and Vchain? I don't think so if your time horizon is correct, right? If you are not borrowing from your grandpa or your father-in-law and you're not maxing out your credit cards, you're not going 100x long, no, I don't think it's too late. If you can DCA at spot and be patient, I think it's absolutely not too late. Asking about the consultations, you can send me a DM and we could set it up. All right. I think that's going to be it, guys. For this time, Dent or ADA for ROI? For ROI, it's going to be Dent for sure. ADA, though, has a higher guaranteed, in my opinion. Any books you recommend? Lots of books. I try to read one book a week. I'm constantly reading. Leaders are readers. The Game of Life and How to Win It. That's one of my favorite books off the top of my head. All right. I have like 10 or 15 books in the Telegram that I've recommended. All right, so that's going to be it for this time. I'm going to be off tomorrow. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. Make sure you get your wife and your mom something. Don't be that guy. Right? You're in this world because of your mother. Do you know if only one human being had the ability to bring life from a different dimension? Like, that's a portal, bro. Like, what's going on in there? There wasn't a being, and now there is. What? If only one person could do that, we would think that they are a superhero. But half the population has the ability. And we just think, it's whatever. So pay your respects. So I'm going to be off tomorrow. I'll put out my schedule tomorrow, though. I'm going to be live Monday through Saturday. Generally, it's going to be around 4 to 6 p.m. I'll put it out specifically. I know Thursday I have an early baseball game, so I might do a really early live or a really late live. I haven't decided yet what's going to be best. But I'll put out my exact schedule. Generally, though, it's going to be 4 to 6 p.m. I'll be live with Alex 9 a.m. That is 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Friday. But that's going to be it for this time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless.
day I'm hustling.